It's time for another Sit and Talk FAQ. This question comes from Peter Gooding. Not Peter Gooding Jr. Hi Matt, just wondered, when you are playing Tyranids, which race or army do you find most problematic to play against and why? Any insight is much appreciated. Well, there's a couple things. I would say Eldar, Dark Eldar, and Dark Eldar have the things that counter Tyranids the most, especially Dark Eldar with like Venom Spam or whatever like that, because they have the answer to swarms and monstrous creatures at the same time with their poison weapons. So they just destroy monstrous creatures, but there's still enough shots that they can take on lots of little guys, and they can pick off your synapse really well. Tower are good too, but the other thing that really Tyranids still struggle against is armor, and I'm talking about like vehicles, except for like light vehicles like orc trucks or something. Most vehicles will give Tyranids a hard time. If you create an all mechanized list, whether you're playing Necrons, whether you're playing Tau, whether you're playing Eldar or Dark Eldar, whether you're playing Space Marines or Imperial Guard, the Tyranids will have a hard time with that. They just don't have as many tools as other armies have to deal with it. Whereas like Necrons have like every tool to deal with vehicles. Tyranids, it's a lot harder. They don't have much shooting that can deal with vehicles, and so they have to rely on close combat, which of course in 40k, close combat is strong, but shooting is a huge part of the game too. And so, and on top of that, Smash getting nerfed in 7th edition, it just makes them much less effective, even with their monstrous creatures. Before, Trigons and Tervagons and Hive Tyrants could be effective anti-vehicle deterrents, and now they're not. They're good against light vehicles that have rear armor 10. They can still do that, but even then, it's not a sure thing. I've seen plenty of attacks from these big creatures, and they just kind of leave a regular vehicle with rear armor 10 with 3 hull points still intact. And so that's kind of the disappointing thing right there. I really don't think they needed a nerf Smash. Like I really didn't find that overpowered in the game. It was something that was necessary. It allowed a Trigon to be like, I'm attacking, and instead of my 5 attacks, I'll get 3 at strength 10. But now it's 1 at strength 10, which is super unreliable. Like just super, especially with like the Morkanauts and Gorkanauts and other walkers out there that force you on their front armor of 12 or 13, or Land Raiders, or a lot of different things like that. So Tyranids have problems with a lot of things. They have problems with armor, and then they have problems with, but the armies themselves that I have the hardest time against would be Dark Eldar and Eldar for sure. End FAQ.